Who wants to head on down to Jesus land with me? Come on, let's head on down to Jesus camp, everybody. It's who is this Speaker Johnson? Who is this speaker wagging his Johnson around? Lebowski, we're going to cut off your Johnson. This is, if you don't know, this is Flashpoint. There's Eric Metaxas' ass and Gene the Jesus Machine, and then two other guys that are on there that I don't care about. We haven't come up with a nickname for them because they don't show up enough. Whatever. Anyways, this is who is Speaker Johnson and why do we already love? Oh, it's Dutch sheets. Which one's Dutch? What's Dutch oven? Which one's Dutch oven? It's got to be that guy, right? Is that Dutch oven? Yeah, Gene the Jesus Machine, Eric McTax your ass, and Dutch oven. I'm pretty sure that's who they are. And we'll find out who the other guy is.
Yesterday, some good news. This happened.
Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away.
Mike Johnson, watch.
What about your Johnson?
In their tallies that the total number of votes cast is 429.
Yeah, we saw this.
Of which the Honorable Mike Johnson of the state of Louisiana.
Yeah, they posted this 3 fucking hours ago. This is a fucking breaking news clip on this fucking network.
Louisiana has received 220 votes.
Yeah. All right. Sounds like rain on a tin roof.
And the Honorable Hakeem Jeffries of the state of New York has received 209 votes.
Hey, imagine if Democrats voted thoroughly. There would be more of those.
Therefore, the Honorable Mike Johnson of the state of Louisiana, having received a majority of the votes cast, is duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives for the 118th Congress.
All right, Eric, you see that we have a new speaker, and interesting on this vote. We have a new speaker, interesting on this vote. I don't know if the Republicans got it together. I mean, there were no other. From what I saw, there was no others that were, nobody voted.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Nobody voted other. Spit it the fuck out, dummy. Hold on. I need somebody who can speak to these guys. Somebody who speaks to them on the regular.
I am the soul of Reverend Copeland, and I direct the words that come.
Voting randomly for McCarthy.
Well, I gotta be completely frank. I just pump random thoughts into this fuckwad's head.
Here for somebody else. It seemed like they got it together. What do you think of this latest?
They didn't. I got it together for them.
Latest appointment.
This is the greatest news I've heard.
Why, Eric, I'm so happy that you're about to be indicted by the Fulton County Sheriff. I recognize that backdrop anywhere.
In a little while, let's be honest.
Why start now?
To get rid of Kevin McCarthy and replace him with this guy, this is a dream. Somebody needs to hug Matt Gaetz.
No one has to hug Matt Gaetz. Look, there are a myriad of punishments in hell. None of them involved letting that dude rub his dick on you.
Thank God.
Everyone has to have a line, and that's mine.
That Matt Gaetz did what he did because you.
Thank who? Fuck you, buddy. Fuck you.
You want to talk about a great trade? This is amazing. This is a man.
Citation needed.
Mike Johnson.
Sorry. I may be as old as the creation of light, but I still tickles me when farts and saying Johnson both make me laugh.
Who is somebody who gets it. He's MAGA.
He gets it, just like Donald Trump. And By it, we mean syphilis.
He understands that Americans are sick of increasing our debt, sick of any number of things.
Yeah, they're just sick in general. Not from COVID, because obviously, you know, Biden put together a pretty strong program to get people vaccinated, and even if people get it, they're not going to the hospital and dying anymore. So it's not so much that they're sick of it; they just got the sniffles from some of it, and it'll pass.
Honestly,
that's excuse me. We talked about you using that word, Eric.
I am absolutely thrilled and a little stunned in a way that it turned out this well. God bless Matt Gaetz for standing firm.
And flying teenage girls out of the state of Florida using a fake ID, dosing them on ecstasy, and fucking them. I mean, talk about coming straight to the front of the line, buddy.
The swamp was so angry at what he did. And if you make the swamp angry, you're doing something right.
He is from Florida. All swamps are angry.
That's a good point. Let me show
you. Isn't it, though? Thanks. Gene, the Jesus machine.
All right, I'm going to lose my voice if I keep doing that guy.
you Benny Johnson.
That guy's got to come in small doses. Holy shit. All right.
Post this.
Stop looking down. What'd you do? Go to the Greg Kelly School of Broadcasting?
Last night, after being elected.
Look up.
The candidate for speaker.
Get a teleprompter. Have them put the article that you're looking at in it. Get an overhead camera. Have it pumped into your teleprompter, you fucking idiot.
Congressman Mike Johnson asked the Republican conference to bow
Benny Johnson
their heads and join him in prayer. I mean, Dutch.
They all do that.
This is definitely look.
Yes, to Moloch.
So you rang?
Looks like we're heading in the correct direction.
Towards hell?
Yeah, and I know several people prophetically, at least two that I know.
Oh, this is Dutch Sheets. Okay, so this is Dutch Oven, and the other guy is, they don't even give his name. We'll figure it out. They'll say it. Maybe they just blow him off.
Personally, were alerted to pray for him.
They were alerted to my fake background. They're like, some people were under the impression that I live in a brownstone erected in outer fucking space where you can see the earth. But I do not. This is, and in case you're wondering where to find Dutch Sheets, you go to DutchSheets.org, Dutch Sheets Ministries, to find, to get Dutch ovened by the Lord. That's right. I am not afraid, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, to pull the covers over your head and let one fly. Come on now. To get you a Dutch oven for Jesus. That's right. Just cooking you up. Come on. Look out.
Back as early as last Saturday when he was.
Wow, all the way back then. These prophecies are fucking hot.
His name wasn't even being mentioned. That the Lord said, pray for this man. I want to use him. And they felt it was for this. And then I know I have another friend who's very.
Oh, yeah? Yeah. Did that friend say this anywhere we could see a recording or see some evidence that they actually said this? No? No, they didn't. It didn't occur to you that since you were going to claim prophecy to actually go, here's me talking on my show before this happened, that this guy was going to be the dude. But yeah, just trust me. Fuck it.
Prophetic, who last Tuesday night was leading in a national prayer call for this man, saying this is God's choice.
Right. Nobody was on the call, but.
And so, you know, we all felt like Jim Jordan would be good. But I tell you, God moved supernaturally.
Right. And a supernatural being is not going to put in a guy who looked the other way while wrestlers were being raped at OSU by the physician that worked there and the head coach. I'm just saying that that's very natural for Jim Jordan. That wouldn't be a supernatural act. That just comes naturally to Jim Jordan.
I was in a gathering in Texas.
Oh yeah? Key party? You were all lubed up, and then what happened?
Just the sovereign hand of the Lord, and we felt we got to pray now for him in this process. We were literally several hundred of us interceding for him. Wow. And this vote.
Wow, that's so great. And yet nobody caught this on a cell phone or wrote it down, maybe mailed it to themselves, certified mail so that we could Then have it in an envelope where you could hold it up to your forehead and go, "My Johnson, Mark Johnson." I was so close.
It was taking place. So this is a gift from God. I agree with Eric.
That's right. This is the Lord speaking. And I look forward to you saying that when he passes a continuing resolution.
The grace of God.
It is.
And he is moving. And I said a couple of weeks ago
that I'm one of the Lord's biggest movements, bowel movements, of course. The Lord opened up his rectum and built something, my ministry, in the image of one of his big double deuce dookies.
Just remind people, said it 2 days in a row in the post, God is about to hasten the pace.
That's right. I know things have been going slowly, but the Lord is going to quicken things. It's going to quicken things. He's speeding things up. It feels like it's been dragging, but I tell you, as soon as Jenna Ellis turns state's evident, this shit's dominoes are gonna fall. Oh, that's not what you're talking about? Oh, my bad, dude. I thought it was
things are going to speed up. Some of that will be evil, but it's also going to be.
Yeah, they'll be fast. That's the thing I hate about evil, is slow evil.
Breakthrough, answers to our prayers.
Dude, I don't want to fuck with you too much. That's a lie. But you do realize that the answer to your prayer could be no, he's going to jail. I'm just saying, getting your prayers answered doesn't mean that you get what you want. You just get an answer.
This is a huge victory for us. Huge.
Yeah.
Please, yeah, totally. Fucking A, right. And as soon as he passes a continuing resolution using Democratic votes, I look forward to you guys backing him up and saying, hey, he's the Lord's choice. The Lord works in mysterious ways.
Let me show you. This was his tweet before the vote that Mike Johnson put out there. In God we trust, with the American flag right there.
Well, I mean, yeah, why say stuff when you can use iconography?
There it shows who this guy really is.
He's a guy who would he's telling the American people that hanging the U.S. flag in the distress position is his way of sending a message to America. And hanging the American flag down, saying we're in trouble, is his way of saying, I'm going to be speaker, we're in trouble.
Great thing. In fact, let me show you what he had to say. Watch.
I want to tell all my colleagues here what I told the Republicans in that room last night.
I like a light tickle, and then you can't breach the anus. You can tap it, but that's,
I don't believe there are any coincidences in a matter like this. I believe that Scripture, the Bible, is very clear.
It is that the best people in Sodom and Gomorrah were the family where the wife looked back and said, fuck it, I'd rather go back to Sodom and Gomorrah, and the dad who offered up his own daughters to the men to rape instead of the angels because they're guests, and the daughters who got him drunk and fucked him later in the cave when the whole town went down.
That God is the one that raises up those in authority. He raised up each of you.
Oh, I see. So God chose me for this moment.
You, all of us.
Yeah, everybody, not just me, but especially me.
And I believe that God has ordained and allowed each one of us to be brought here for this specific moment.
Right. So you are going to treat Joe Biden and the majority in the Senate as under that same umbrella, that Joe Biden was chosen by God to rule over, to have authority over the United States. That's your standard? Next time the next time this motherfucker criticizes Joe Biden, I'm like, why are you spitting in the face of God?
This time, this is my belief. I believe that each one of us has a huge responsibility today to use the gifts that God has given us to serve the extraordinary people of this great country.
And that's why I'm about to sing some Lee Greenwood. Not some of your favorites, but the songs he does that are his surprising covers.
Deserve it.
John, you see that?
Yes, I see that you didn't play the part where he thanked Hakeem Jeffries and said he believes in America and he believes that Hakeem Jeffries truly loves the country. You did. I noticed Gene Jesus Machine and you and Dutch Oven and Eric Metaxas my ass and whoever the fuck this guy is. I noticed you didn't play that clip.
I mean, that's pretty astounding.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree, and I'm going to love it when he next week when he says, well, I can't argue with Joe Biden because God made him president and he's got more power than I do. And
miracle. And here's the thing. It's almost like they were so fatigued. They had 14 different candidates, 19 different votes just this year alone, and nobody could agree.
Oh, I see. Shallow Graves here. John Shallow Graves from millionvoices.org, which is a Christian money-making scheme. No.
They even call it the five families in the Republican Party. They're not all Christian, with us on everything, but there's clearly a divide in the country between the
Futka, Liga, Hoga, Hunga, and the five. Futka, Liga, Hoga, Hunga, and Kappa. Yeah. 5 families in Kung Fu.
2 parties on the moral issues. And those 5 families all would locked in. I'm not going for your guy. I'm not going for yours. And one of the greatest strengths he has is he didn't have as many enemies as the other people because he's not as well known.
Right. That's the biggest problem Republicans have is the more people know about you, the more they fucking hate you. Even people on your own side. Remarkable.
And so sometimes God brings people in like a David to take on a Goliath where people aren't looking for it. People aren't ready for it.
David cheated in the fight against Goliath. There used to be an old way when there was 2 armies fighting where it was even. And they were like, send out your best fighter so that these guys can fight so everybody else doesn't die. Early boxing matches, as it were. And David killed the guy from a distance. Imagine if it hadn't been a rock and a slingshot, which sounds like nobody can kind of fathom how you direct one of those things. And imagine it was a guy with a bow and arrow or a sniper rifle, or he pulled an Indiana Jones when everybody would agree. This will be a gentleman's fight. Since we're in a stalemate, you guys are just going to keep killing us. We're going to send out 2 of our greatest fighters. And they send out their greatest fighter and our guy just shoots him and then goes, see, we won. Look at that. Yeah, it's not a good story.
But he doesn't shy away from it. This guy was an alive.
Why would he shy away from it? He's getting instant power. He's 2 heartbeats, away from the presidency.
Alliance Defending Freedom. Most of you know that's one of the top
2 heart stoppages, really.
Organizations that fights for religious freedom and life and all the things. That's what his job was before he went to Congress. He is a great, great man. He has got no small challenge on his hand. I mean, I would keep praying for him, not just pray that.
Yeah, don't stop now.
He gets there, but we got crises all over the world. We got a crisis in this country, and he's
just one? Well, that's good. Well, they're down from the 35 crises when Joe Biden took over. That's good.
Still has the 5 families that all don't get along a lot of time. They like to feud with one another. And so
they do. They just like it.
We need to pray that God gives him wisdom. Like
even when they agree, they fight. It's interesting.
Solomon, to know how to navigate those things and know which fights to bring up, which ones to wait for another day, and which ones to draw a line in the sand on. One of the things that I think is refreshing too, Gene, is that he's a fresh face. He's new. That's part of what's happening in politics. People are.
Yeah, this he's a silver-haired white dude, but okay. But he's brand new because none of us know who the fuck he is. He's fresh. Not as fresh as the women that Matt Gaetz sex trafficked, allegedly, but close. I don't know who they are either. Right, Gene?
So fatigued by certain people.
Marjorie and Lauren stick shift Plato, Bumper Bobert, and all those people. Sick of them.
Just a fresh face.
It's so nice to have someone in there that I know nothing about. I can't even pretend to know anything about this.
They haven't had time to slander him yet. They'll do that.
You will.
They've already started. But this is a breath of fresh air from the Holy Spirit.
I agree. I went back and I was looking at other videos yesterday, and then Jason found this one today. This goes back from earlier this year when he was in a.
Let's go. A real prophecy.
Committee hearing on what he had to say about.
Oh, okay. No, I'm sorry. I thought you were going to play a video of you saying, boy, the Lord has told me that this Cock Johnson guy will be the speaker one day. Even though Kevin McCarthy won, he spoke to me in a dream last night. And I now know that Mike Johnson is going to be the next speaker, right? And I was going to play a video of that, but I just fuck it. Let's just play some video of Mike Johnson speaking.
Fixing the border. Watch.
What you've documented carefully in the Twitter files are a couple of key facts. People hear a lot.
You're not playing the video. You're just playing the audio.
Of things today, but this is what they need to know. The federal government, from Democrat members of Congress to intelligence agencies, including the FBI, used Twitter and other social media companies to censor Americans' speech.
No, they did not. They did not have the power to censor American speech. And Twitter told the FBI to go pound sand multiple times. Bullshit city. Let's see. Where did it go? This. Bullshit. Just for the record. Nope. I covered the Twitter files. They were all bullshit.
If the alarm bells are not going off, then you're
It's because you know that Mike Johnson doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
not paying attention. Over the past 3 years, documents show, they prove what you
Oh, yes. And I believe they have sped him up.
guys have uncovered here. There's communication between Twitter and the FBI. It was constant. It was pervasive.
And Twitter often told the FBI that they wouldn't remove certain accounts.
Twitter was basically an FBI subsidiary
Yeah, you're stupid.
before Elon Musk took it over.
No, it wasn't. And now it's what? A wholly owned propaganda machine by another billionaire?
Twitter files revealed that by 2020, Twitter was engaged in open information sharing with the intelligence community, and now...
Right, because of human trafficking, drugs, fentanyl, murder for hire schemes, all the shit that happens in social media that you would rather not have happen.
We know there were many intelligence agencies apparently involved in this.
Right, the ones that keep terrorists from destroying the country from outside and from within.
The FBI pressured Twitter to act on election-related tweets leading up to the 2022 election. Of course,
And sometimes they did, and sometimes they didn't.
they did it in 2020 as well, and Twitter dutifully censored content as a result.
While Donald Trump was president.
Twitter
And they dutifully didn't as well.
executives restricted accounts. They censored speech that conflicted with the left's narrative. Twitter
They also didn't in a lot of cases.
has used its internal tools to control and manipulate.
They just held people to the terms of service, and as long as you didn't use directly racist or hate-filled speech, or didn't pretend to be a doctor, or forward something from someone pretending to be a doctor who isn't an actual doctor or doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, and violate the terms of service that way, they let you keep talking. Again, Ben Shapiro was never kicked off, and he said all the things all these other fuckers have said. He just did it without N-bomb dropping.
Speech considered misinformation, and who was determining that? It was the government bureaucrats. Documents show that Twitter used visibility
People who keep track of facts.
filtering to restrict certain accounts and posts and removed people from the platform altogether.
Yeah. Tell them, Mike Johnson, why Stormfront should have their own Twitter blue check mark for free.
The Twitter files should be a matter of bipartisan concern for every member of Congress and every American.
They were concerned for me. I was concerned about how much bullshit you guys were mining out of them, and that they don't say anywhere near what you're saying they say. And I was very concerned that this would be a pervasive myth. It seems to play out that I was right, because Flashpoint is citing this.
Citizen, because it is a bedrock principle of our constitutional system that the government does not get to decide what speech is acceptable or true.
Oh, yes, they do. Here's one for you, Mike. Child porn. Unless you're making the case that it should be covered under free speech. I mean, right? Is that the case you're making? Why are they able to censor something that someone bought outside the country? They're just showing it to other people.
Under the First Amendment, Americans have a right to speak freely, regardless of whether their speech upsets the preferred narrative. In fact, that's...
No, the preferred narrative in this country is that child porn is bad, and that child molestation is bad and criminal. And if you support it or sell it, you're going to get your, quote, free speech rights curtailed.
When it needs the most vigorous protection. Everybody on the left used to believe in that, or at least they purported to. Government and media fact checkers frequently get things wrong. The American people can't and shouldn't.
And so do you. I'll give you an example. Your entire take on the Twitter files.
Rely on so-called experts to be the arbiters of truth, disinformation boards and the like.
Right, so why are we listening to you? What is your standard? Why should I listen to you? What's your qualification? Other than the fact that you were elected to office in Louisiana without a Southern accent at all.
It doesn't matter what political party you're in. Government should not suppress important debates and public discourse. Gentlemen.
All right, let me go to you.
What's his name? Just say what's his name.
Eric, you know, I called the wrong video, but we're going to hit this one first anyway. So on this Twitter file.
Well, you didn't call the wrong video, Gene, the Jesus machine. That's the video the Lord wanted people to see in that order. Why, oh ye of little faith? There are no mistakes, only happy Jesus accidents. Just saying.
I mean, he talked about a very important fact, Eric, of how the fact checkers get it wrong. And that's the whole point of free speech, is that we're able to do that.
Yes, the whole point of free speech is that fact checkers can get shit wrong, so that they're able to get things wrong.
That's obviously we agree with that, because everybody in this room, this virtual room that we're in, has been either censored or canceled in some sort.
Yeah, but that's because you purport to be Christians and you preach hate. So you just, it's not even that you're being canceled. It's just you kind of suck at your job. I mean, I would like to make the case that you're a hate machine and that Copeland Ministries and all this kind of stuff are built on bigotry and sexism and all that. Yeah, that's fine. Religious bigotry, racial bigotry, all that. Fuck it. I would love to make that case, but I don't have to, because you suck at this so bad that we never even get there. By the way, you're watching House Sparks Mega Worldwide, and that was our toe dip into Flashpoint.